But I want you to think back when you decided to go to Troy University and apply for that job. And in case you're gonna when you told us about the insurance industry, like those persons, why did you decide to go in those fields? What was your hope?
Well, I ended up at Troy University on circumstance. Part of my story that not a lot of people know is that I fled a domestic violence relationship and came back to Florida. I had a 12-month-old and a 6-week-old, and my mama was not having all of us staying in her house for too long. And at that time, that's when it started getting big on the internet when we were looking for jobs. That's where Jobs Plus, they were big in the community. And I tried all of those things to try to find a job to get up out of my mom's house. But there was this 4-line job announcement in the paper. And nobody reads the paper, but I was desperate, so I was reading the paper. Because 2 grown women cannot live together, contrary to popular belief.
I hear you, sis.
Yes. So I found, and this, again, looking back on the journey, it's a God thing because I found the job announcement. I was not qualified for the job, but I was hired because I was a musician and I could put things together logically. So me and my happy self, we applied, we interviewed, and we got the job on the spot, and that's how I ended up in that career field.
Oh man! So as the co-founder of Real Women Radio, music is dear to my heart, right? I'm gonna tell y'all, I have Marvin Sapp and Cardi B on the same playlist. Okay, I'm versatile, and I just love how music has always brought you through. And now you're teaching it.
Yeah.
So you don't know whose life you're impacting through music, just like it has been impacted through yours.
Absolutely.
Oh, what amazing.
It's definitely an honor to be that for somebody.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, tell us about that first year in insurance.
It was rough, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. The first few months were great because I was excited and I'm telling everybody what I'm doing and people are buying. And insurance is residual income on that end. So Christmas came. And then January came and people started paying their premiums. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? Yeah, it was rough. But you know what? God opened another door because that job was no salary. It was straight commission. And you got to be on your hustle for real.
Yeah.
And that's entrepreneurship. When I actually opened up an insurance office in Pensacola, I've never worked so hard in my whole life because you're always on.
Always.
So I would suggest anybody that wants to start your own business, get it to the point where you don't have to do everything.
Amen.
Okay. Automate.
Amen. I think that's self-care right there, okay? You might have taken that on that one, but that was self-care right there. All right. So you ladies have an amazing story. Let's speed up a little bit. Now, can you tell us what has your career field taught you? And I'm going to start with Kate this time.
So much.
Tell us all. Tell it all. It's tell all.
So we all have heard that you cannot be a great leader unless you're a great follower. And in order to be a great follower, you have to have some patience. Because unfortunately, a lot of times the people that are above you shouldn't be there. So that grew me drastically. I'm a short story. I used to work for an insurance company. I'm not going to say the name because y'all all know this company. And the person who was my director, none of the employees had any respect for her. So they would come to me. And I'm like, but I'm not your boss. And she had a big problem with that. So being able to navigate that, so where she wasn't like trying to get me fired, and I'm still making sure everybody's good because they were coming to me. Because at the end of the day, we're a team. Okay, you can't go forward if everybody's not on the same page. So that was one of the lessons that I learned.
Well, I know specifically, she didn't say this, but I'm going to say this, especially for Black women, we are always put at the backbone of someone who is not more competent than us. So we definitely have learned how to navigate those systems, right? That is very important. And another piece that I found when you talk about leadership is that humility. So I go back to someone asking me about service and humility, and I think about Jesus. And Jesus was humble, and he was humility in how he was a servant for us, and he was a leader. So it was very important. So good stuff. Okay, right.
So what entrepreneurship taught me is that your whole entire self will be exposed in this process. I took it upon myself to go to therapy because I was tired of getting my feelings hurt when people didn't support my ideas. because I'm paying the bills. But why am I, so mad at this person? Where does that come from? I had to seek therapy because I started to be, I'll say judgmental. Where does that stem from? And we found where that stemmed from. I need to be able to lead from a place of strength and not out of my hurts. I needed to not have to lead out of my vulnerabilities. I needed to make sure I was not that leader that lost my temper on people. Because one thing I always say is never necessary to be rude and disrespectful in any of the conversation exchange. If I'm frustrated about a situation, I'm gonna take a minute and I'm gonna approach a person that I'm frustrated with. It wasn't always like that. So by me being able to get to the crux of who I am as a person, what triggers me, I know what things to stay away from that would trigger me, but that's what I learned as an entrepreneur, that I have to be able to look at myself and see where I fall short in my character.
Ooh, sis, you said a lot there. You said a lot there, and I would agree. I'm proud of you for taking and going and doing therapy and taking care of yourself and getting to the root of it. I definitely have learned not to take nothing personal. God told me, like, he reminds me sometimes when I want to go curse, get upset with someone. That they're his child just like I am. You understand? And then every time, and I remember a couple years ago, he told me, every time you speak up or yell or scream or get frustrated and say inappropriate things that are disrespectful to a person, you tell God to go sit down. Now, how ridiculous is that?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
God, go sit down. I got this.
I don't need you, right? And the other part of that too, though, it allowed me to realize that they have their own struggles too, and a lot of times it's just projection.
It's not
So their
personal.
projection and my projection is not a good combination.
I tell people, and I think this is what you said in so many words, you have to grow up to run a business.
And own your stuff.
Yes.
Own your stuff. Grow up and own your stuff.
And it's you, and you are responsible. At the end of the day, anything goes wrong, I always reflect inside first. I know there was something that I could have did better every time. And I'm not saying it to be hard on myself. It's not I'm judging, I'm not mad at myself, but I say, okay, this is what you could have communicated better. This is how you could have moved better. So entrepreneurship definitely.
So I just want to, you just made me think about something. God gives us new grace and new mercy every single day. We need to give ourselves that same grace and that same mercy, because we can be harder on ourselves than anybody else.
Y'all, I think Kay should have been on the self-care panel right there. But you are so right. We do. When you put those, you just take that responsibility and do it different, right? So, okay, ladies, we're gonna get ready to wrap up our panel. I really enjoyed talking to you. So our last question is gonna be to define success. Now, I find this question difficult. Yes.
So in my younger days, I would
Just
say
2 years
money.
ago.
No. I'm in my 40s. So in my 20s, it was money. For me now, it's freedom. And I'm so thankful that I'm at a place in my career where I have freedom. If I need to go run an errand, I don't have to ask anybody. I just go do it. So to be able to still make what I want to make and do what I need to do, take care of my family, I'm good.
And I would have to say success to me is balance and being able to do all the things that I can be intentional in everything. I'm not following somebody else's coattails and might not be doing the right thing. So having the balance to do the things that mean most to me.
I love it. I would say success for me is being on purpose, right? And understanding that purpose change, right? So today I want to do one thing, today I want to do another. I am a serial entrepreneur, but not in I'm not saying I'm ordained or anything, but I feel like I'm an apostle of entrepreneurship. I go start stuff. I go start stuff, I go build stuff. I'm an excellent builder, so just staying on purpose and just staying in touch with myself. And so I think I'm successful in those manners. And I agree with what both of you all are saying. Like, money used to be a thing, but it's not a driver for me anymore. God always, I tell people that all the time, God's gonna take care of me. If you do come and ask me how to start a business, and I help you start up an LLC, honestly, I won't charge you. I tell people, that's not my business. That's not what I'm in business to do. So I'm gonna help you start this LLC, because that's not the business that I'm in. Now you wanna buy some advertising, you wanna market? Okay, now we gotta talk money. But anything outside of that, I'm pretty much gonna give it to you, because that I'm taking care of God always. It's just like, man. I'm not rich, y'all. I'm just playing. I'm just saying I'm taking care of it. That's all. It might be food, it might be money. I don't know. But definitely, I would say that career, whether you want to work for someone, you really have to grow up, you really have to mature. And I'm not saying you go on a career path, that's not what I'm saying, but I mean, it really does, as you can see, it's a mentally draining. You have to take the time to draw back. Therapy was mentioned. I mean, there was so much mentioned up here, right? So you really, really, really have to be on purpose and do what's best for you. You might be lucky like Marlena and can just transition. I'm so glad you got that $10,000. You need to come open up a shop in Pensacola.
We're working in that direction.
Oh girl, now we got space. Now don't play. But I mean, seriously, so we're gonna end with how can we all follow, keep up with you all, book you all, spend money with you all, cause that's support, y'all. Spend money. Let's just like, I think you got a question?
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Sure, we got a question.
So I know that imposter syndrome is a real thing.
Imposter syndrome.
So as two women of color, I know it hit you harder than it may hit most.
So what is it that each of you did to battle that imposter syndrome so that you kept moving forward?
Talk about imposter syndrome, y'all.
I battle imposter syndrome every single day.
Oh, Chelsea, you
Okay.
don't know what it is.
Do what now?
I said,
If you don't explain imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, my definition is you get in that place where you don't know if you're good enough really to be doing what you're doing. You know that people are drawn to you, they're buying your services and your products, but all you know is grind, and you're just trying your best. And a lot of times people don't give you the accolades that you might think you don't need, but sometimes you just need somebody to say, you know what, you're doing a good job.
Yep.
And being a business owner is a thankless position because so many people expect you to be on every single time. You're not really a person, you're almost a robot. So you have that thought of, am I really doing a good job? So the way I overcome imposter syndrome is I celebrate every single victory that comes across my desk. Whether it's somebody just stopping in to get information about a music lesson, whether somebody has purchased our licensing for our Broadway musical this summer. Big or small, I'm celebrating every single thing.
Oh, we gotta hear about that. Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just staying centered. Faith is very important to me. And as long as I'm walking in my purpose, which is the name of my book, I'm okay. I'm okay. Because I deserve, God, He is the owner of everything. I tell people this, I have 2 children. I would do anything for my children. Why wouldn't God do the same for me?
All right. I want to say it's the cheerleading squad. I have a group of people around me who continuously remind me that I am bad. You hear me? Yeah. And so, I hate when I hear people say, I don't need nobody. I can do this by myself. And I'm just like, if you believe in God, Jesus had a team. His apostles was his team. So who am I not to? And when I find good people, I hold on to them tight and try not to never let them go. But that squad, oh my God, on them bad days, they, outside of God, I love the Lord. But those people that he has sent to me is such a blessing, and they really help with my imposter syndrome. Because anytime I start doubting myself, they right there picking it up. All right, ladies, so tell us how we can keep up with you 2 amazing ladies and support you.
It's K Speaks, it's K Speaks on all platforms.
And you can find us at growyourgiftmusic.com or Facebook, Instagram at growyourgiftmusic. And we do have summer camps for kids and adults this summer. On your lunch break, come on and play the piano.
I was just going to say, now how do we spend money with you? Okay, how do we buy your book?
Amazon.com.
So we're just looking for the case.
K Mitchell, and then Marketing with Purpose.
Okay, and then we spend money with you summer camp, or what else do you
If
have?
you go to growyourgiftmusic.com, you will see all 16 instruments that we offer, and plus all of our camps and groups.
I want to learn how to play the piano. Can adults come?
Absolutely, our oldest student is 74.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. Now when I come next year, I'm gonna play the piano for y'all.
Hold her to it.
All right, y'all. Give it up for these awesome, amazing women.